Welcome to Session 8, the Mutual Correction of the Brothers. The structure of Chapter 5 has two basic parts. The first part, lines 1 through 6, oscillates between the ministers and the brothers. Lines 1 through 2 concern the interaction of the minister with the brothers. Lines 3 through 4 treats the brothers' correction of the ministers. And lines 5 through 6 parallels with the minister's correction of the brothers. The second part, lines 7 through 17, applies to all the brothers equally. It has four parts. Lines 7 through 8 warns against being angered by the fault of others and call the brothers to help each other spiritually instead. Lines 9 through 12 reminds the brothers that they should not seek power or control over their fellow brothers in matters involving correction. Lines 13 through 15 encourages the brothers to not do or say anything evil to each other. And lines 16 and 17 ends by reminding the brothers that when they wander outside obedience, they do not listen or follow Christ's teachings and footsteps. Note that the first part concerns who should do what in the matter of mutual correction. And the second part follows by explaining how it should be done by all the brothers equally. Throughout, each topic of the correction strings together with numerous if-let clauses, which reads as if such and such scenario happens, then let them do this. Let us look at each of these 7 scenarios regarding correction in turn. First, lines 1 and 2 directly connect back with chapter 4. The minister, who is entrusted with the care of his brother's souls, must not be a bad example to them. Accordingly, the minister must keep watch over his soul and the souls of his brothers. So, if a minister commands something bad, brothers are not bound to obey him, because obedience should not result in sin. The possibility of a minister commanding a brother to do things contrary to their professed life or to his soul leads to the second example, the correction of a minister by the brothers. Second, the brothers are to observe their ministers. If they walk according to the flesh and not the Spirit, the brother should admonish him. If he does not correct himself after 3 attempts, following Jesus' teachings in Matthew 18, 15 through 17, the brothers should report the problem to the universal fraternity at the annual chapter meeting. Note 3 things. 1, the brothers are to do this reasonably and lovingly. 2, they first try to correct their minister within the local community before seeking additional help. And 3, their concern for the minister outweighs whatever objection might arise. For example, scandal. Third, the brothers are to follow the same basic procedure regarding a fellow brother who chooses to live according to the flesh and not the Spirit. First, the brothers try to humbly and attentively correct their brother. If he does not correct himself, after the 3rd attempt, the brothers should report him to their minister, who will counsel the brother in the best way possible before God. Again, Jesus' teaching on correction in Matthew 18, 15 through 17 informs the brothers' practice. The brothers first try to intervene with the community before reporting the brother to their minister. Gentle discretion is followed by caring discernment. Fourth, so how should this delicate business of correction transpire? The second part turns to consider the attitude and actions expected of all the brothers. Thus, lines 7 and 8 commence the second part by reminding all the brothers that they should not be disturbed or angered by another brother's sin or evil. The devil can use such anger to destroy the brothers and their community. Instead of anger, the brothers should strive to spiritually help their brother who is in need of correction. In trying their best to help their brother who sins, the brothers fulfill Jesus' teaching from Mark 2:17. Those who are well do not need a physician, but the sick do. Here, all the brothers should replace anger with a sincere desire to help their brothers in need. Note two things. On the one hand, the sick brother is the one who lives by the way of the flesh. So the other brothers help him spiritually so that he can again live by the Spirit. On the other hand, the many help the one. If one member of the community is sick with sin, then the whole community is affected. So the whole community participates in the healing process. Fifth, mutual correction according to the gospel means that all the brothers should relinquish power and control. To emphasize this point, the text cites the gospel 3 times. Matthew 20:25. The rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and the great ones make their authority over them felt. It shall not be so among the brothers. Matthew 20:26. Whoever wishes to be the greater among them, be their minister and servant. And Matthew 20:26-27. Whoever is the greater among them, become the least. All the brothers are called to be lesser brothers. None should desire to be greater over one of their brothers. Note some of the brothers are officially designated ministers and servants, but when it comes to correction, especially among themselves, whoever wishes to be greater must become a minister and servant to their brother in need. All the brothers are to have the spirit of a minister and servant when they confront a sick brother who lives according to the flesh. Sixth, no brother should do or say anything evil to another brother. Rather, they should obey each other in a manner that enacts Galatians 5:13. Through the charity of the Spirit, let them serve and obey one another voluntarily. 2 points. 1. Instead of saying or doing anything evil, the brothers are to obey, literally listen to their fellow brothers. Talking about another gives a way to listening to another. 2. Such obedience is not forced. Rather, it should be voluntary. One should desire to listen to another. In other words, desire to put the other first in the conversation. This is another dimension of being a lesser brother. Together, voluntary obedience towards one's brother manifests obedience to Jesus. Hence, such listening, that is, to both brother and to the Lord, is true and holy obedience. 7th, do not listen to the Lord's teachings and do not follow his example. The brothers remain outside obedience as long as they knowingly remain in the sin of ignoring Jesus' teachings. So to follow Christ's teachings and footsteps when it comes to mutual correction among the brothers is to follow the gospel and the life they have promised. On the one hand, the gospel challenges the brothers to listen to Christ, which is the true obedience by which the brothers are blessed. On the other hand, their proposed life reminds the brothers that Christ is the exemplar of their practice of mutual correction. Yet what is so obvious in the gospel becomes much more trying in the struggle to live the evangelical life. So as the brothers follow Jesus, following his teachings is one thing. Doing what Jesus taught is another. Theory and practice often diverge. Thus, the brothers' need for mutual correction, that is, humble, responsible, and loving form of correction modeled after Christ.